Hi, what's up? This is Michelle from Tier Coaching, and in this series, we're checking out our top picks of some of the best self-management, learning, and self-improvement tools around. So if you're looking to upgrade your life, you've come to the right place. My goal is to introduce you to world-class products that you'll want to continue to use again and again, long after the initial honeymoon is over. Today, we're taking a look at cold turkey blocker. Let's get into it. Now, you and me both know these are some crazy times we live in. By now, most of us have figured out that tech companies use some pretty advanced behavioral modification and conditioning techniques to get us hooked on their particular poison. That's why anyone serious about leisure, focus, career, and sanity should have a good website blocker. Now, website blockers come in many shapes and sizes, and I've tried innumerable solutions in my days. None of them satisfied me. However, once I found cold turkey blocker, I could finally stop searching. It's one of those rare breeds of blockers that's just strict enough not to be fooled by your brain's tricks, yet flexible enough not to try and force you into a solution that's just too rigid to be sustainable in the long run. You can keep things basic, and you can turn them up a notch if need be. Let's go through the main features. First of all, this app will not only block individual URLs, it will also let you block whole domains, apps, and even specific keywords. So this means that you can block Facebook, or you can block specifically your mortal enemy's profile, or you can block individual apps and programs, and you can also block folders. So you can block, say, your entire Steam folder, or you can just block World of Warcraft. You can create different block lists depending on your purposes. So I use separate lists depending on what I want to be doing with my time at that given moment. So for instance, if I want to be studying, I use one list, and if I want to be writing, I use a separate list. Then on top of that, you can have some lists that are blocked on a schedule and some that are just blocked for the very moment you choose to while you're working on something very specific. Finally, you can also schedule sprints that are Pomodoro style. So you work for 25 minutes and then rest for 5. And you do that in iterations throughout your day. This wouldn't be a blocker worth its salt though, unless you could lock those blocks. And cold turkey goes over and beyond with this. You can block a list and use a timer, but you can also set up a password or a random complicated word string that you'll have to write before being able to change anything. You can also lock the blocks during certain hours of the day or until you restart your computer. For those of you who have particularly tenacious and difficult to control cravings, cold turkey will even let you lock your computer's time and date settings. You can also block access to your computer's task manager and control it all from your computer's command line. Also, you can create unique setups for each computer user. The beauty of cold turkey, I think, lies in being able to so flexibly schedule and lock blocks. One of my favorite techniques is to set up a stats tracker, which will just track all your websites and all your activity and all your app usage locally, by the way. You can just set up a stats tracker, and then after a week, I'll check it and I'll get a summary of where I spend my time. Then, I choose the sites that suck the most time and block those until the end of the month. Oh, and of course, I finish off all my blocking by blocking Edge, so I don't open that thing even by mistake. Now, I've been raving a lot, but this is not to say that cold turkey blocker is perfect. I have recently been experimenting with finding a way to lock myself out of my browser for a little while after a session of, say, half an hour of surfing. That way, I could come out of my trance and just briefly check that what I was doing was actually important. I haven't found a way to set that up in cold turkey yet. Also, cold turkey has a really unfortunate habit of not recognizing browser add-ons in new browsers. This gets me thrown out the first couple tens of tries. However, I forgive them because of 3 reasons. One being that I don't change browsers too often, just occasionally. 2, they are concerned with your privacy and will only store data locally on your computer, which I personally really appreciate. They are not selling any data to third parties. That's not saying that they are completely waterproof, but they're contributing to the cost. And 3rd, finally, cold turkey blocker has refrained from setting up one of those subscription payments. And let me tell you, if there's anything preventing me from purchasing other useful applications right now, it's this. The problem is not that you get a recurring payment. It's that you are probably, especially if you're doing something like me, you're getting an ever-growing list of software that you continuously have to pay. And so you have an ever-growing bill that forces you to prioritize, although you technically would want to get more software. Cold turkey blocker realizes that this turns into a bit of an issue after a while and simply won't add to that. I love them for it, and it's an honest, quality workhorse piece of software. I've used it for years, and I think so should you.